Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Curious Owlbear, and today we are exploring the third layer of hell, Minauros. We'll be talking about its environment, its inhabitants, and the Lord of the Third, Mammon. As usual, if you find yourself enjoying the video, make sure to subscribe as there are more D&D videos just around the corner. Let's dive in. The third layer of hell, Minauros, is entirely engulfed in a massive swamp. Wretched, fetid horrors await travelers, illuminated only by stinking clouds of gas. Breathing in these fumes is sure to cause disease and discomfort. Temperatures vary across the plain, as the only heat sources are under the surface of the swamp. There are areas where the heat bubbles through, causing mud geysers with scalding water to form. The sky overhead is constantly gray. There are often rainstorms with an oily sludge, sometimes littered with razor-sharp hail. Cities and fortresses are scattered across the layer. These structures are constantly sinking into the mud of the swamp and are in constant need of refurbishment or replacement. As such, many buildings lay half-swallowed and abandoned. Roads between the cities are little more than massive boulders taken from volcanic ridges scattered across the plain. These boulders slowly sink into the swamp and also need constant replacement. Two notable cities exist in Minauros: the city by the same name, which is the seat of Mammon, Lord of the Third, and the Jingling Hittire. The Jingling Hitter may seem like an interesting destination for travelers, but it is just as dangerous as the rest of the layer. It is a massive city, hanging on impossibly huge chains that extend up above the ever-present layer of gray clouds. It's unknown exactly what the chains are affixed to, due to powerful illusion magic near the layer of clouds, but many scholars believe they are attached to Dis, the second layer of hell, and the layer just above Minauros. The chains enable the city to float just above the surface of the swamp, and as such, it is the only fortress on the layer that is not in need of constant repair. The city is ruled by chain devils who specialize in torture and procuring information. Their services are sought after across the hells, with even the Lord of the Nine, Asmodeus, seeking them out. Visitors will immediately notice the constant blood-curdling screams that echo across this hanging city. Their reactions often root them out, and the chain devils do not take kindly to those who attempt to infiltrate the city. As mentioned previously, the inhabitants of Minauros are mostly chain devils, bearded devils, spined devils, and imps. Barbed devils are also employed to hunt down those petitioners who attempt to flee from the Lord of the Third. The Lord of the Third, Mammon, is a uniquely greedy individual. He covets the crown worn by Asmodeus, but rather than exist in constant conflict with him, Mammon chooses to grovel until his moment is right. Mammon never sleeps, never rests, and instead he dedicates his time to expanding his coffers. During every moment of every day, Mammon seeks profits. As such, Mammon may be the richest individual in existence. Lawful evil souls that are not claimed upon death often wash up in Minauros along the river Styx. There, they are snatched up by Mammon's servants and enter the soul trade that Mammon oversees. This soul trade, as well as Mammon's significant coffers, are his primary methods of exerting influence over the other lords of the Nine. He occasionally hires mercenaries to halt demonic advances, but only in exchange for plundered loot. Those who take too long in their dealings with him, or go against their word, suffer his noteworthy wrath. Mammon's current form is that of a Yuan-Ti. He is over 30 feet long, with his lower half representing the form of a serpent, and his upper half a muscular humanoid torso. His original form was that of a pit fiend, and he can still take this form, but we will get to that later on in the video. Mammon is ultimately selfish, and all things take monetary value in his eyes. The devils in his service always carry the accounting and valuation of all things, which they use to judge the worth of a soul. He has a formidable array of combat and confounding spells. Mammon's touch is said to be able to break bonds between creatures, often causing them to lash out at former allies. During the events known as the Reckoning of Hell, the current pecking order of the 9 hells was established. 2 factions had formed in an attempt to challenge Asmodeus for the crown, but their efforts were thwarted by a band of pit fiends that remained loyal to Asmodeus. Once he realized that their efforts were in vain, Mammon betrayed Despater and Mephistopheles, informing Asmodeus of their movements and plans. For his service, Mammon was rewarded by being able to keep dominion over the 3rd layer of hell, but his form was changed to its current state. Also interesting and mysterious is Mammon's relationship with Glacia, Lord of the 6th and daughter of Asmodeus. She was once Mammon's consort, living with him in Minauros. It's unknown whether this was a punishment dealt by Asmodeus, forcing his daughter out of her comfort on Nessus into the dismal swamp of Minauros, or whether Glacia and Mammon once had actual feelings for one another. The relationship has seemingly ended. Again, this is mysterious, as it could be Mammon's ambivalence towards Glacia that ended the relationship, or it could be that the two are still enamored, continuing their relationship outside of the eye of Asmodeus. Whatever the case, Mammon continues his rule over Minauros, the 3rd layer of hell. Visitors should take caution when traveling to this terrible realm. And that brings us to the end of our explorations of Minauros. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more D&D content. If you have any ideas or requests for future videos, make sure to leave those in the comments section as well. I really enjoy reading them. Until next time, stay curious, adventurers.